Feels good to do this a week after a win. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and it is time for another Chicago Bears weekly preview as the Bears come back home to take on the division rival Minnesota Vikings, with both teams sitting at 1-4 on the season. And then it's time to give my thoughts, picks, predictions, all that, heading into this Week 6 contest for the Chicago Bears. Important for both teams to get a win, but enough of that. Let's talk about this game. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. For me, it is very important to have a VPN to protect my online privacy. It'd be very, very creepy if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing that you did online. So why let your internet provider really do that to you online? The best thing to do is to get yourself a VPN, and why not go with ExpressVPN, the best VPN available. Personally, I like it for the fact that you can unlock Netflix shows that you do not get in the US market. Now, one show that I've started to get myself into is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You search Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the US, doesn't come up, but you can switch your location to Canada and you can research Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and bam, it pops up right then and there, and you can catch up on your episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, if you click the link in the description below, you will get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. Just by clicking the link below and you sign up today, you will get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link down below and you will get ExpressVPN. Now, let's just get back to the video. First, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears offense going up against the Minnesota Vikings defense. Now, the big thing for the Bears coming into this ball game is how are they going to establish the running game? As Khalil Herbert is listed as doubtful and more than likely will not play this week. Roschon Johnson is still a concussion protocol, and we're not sure at the time of me recording this video is he going to play. And you have Travis Homer, a guy who could have came in and ate some carries, questionable. So the only healthy running back you got is Donta Foreman, and you just signed Darrynton Evans, who was with the Bears last year. So at the end of the day, how are the Bears going to run the football to set up their offense, especially with the injuries that they have to the running back position? Going up against the front with Danielle Hunter, who I think is a very good player in this league. Harrison Phillips, Jonathan Buller are very solid for the Vikings up front. So how are the Bears running game going to attack the front of the Minnesota Vikings defense, especially when you don't have your running back lineup fully healthy? So that is going to be one of the things that we have to look out for coming into this ball game, is how is Luke Getsy going to use Justin Fields as well in the running game for the Bears coming up this week because of the injuries to the running back position. And I think Fields running the ball, I think has to be a little bit more involved. I think has to be a little bit more of a factor, especially with the injuries to the running back position. So I'm looking for, I'm not going to say a big spike in carry from Justin Fields, but I'm going to look for him to run the football just a slight bit more to kind of offset some of those injuries. And can the Bears passing game keep up the momentum from the last 2 weeks, especially against the secondary for the Minnesota Vikings, who have Byron Murphy Jr., who's okay. Harrison Smith is a very good player still, even at his older age. So can the Bears passing game, number one, still protect? And two, can the Bears passing game still continue some of that momentum that they've had the last 2 weeks? I think 2 of the best games of Justin Fields' career in the NFL. Can they still maintain that momentum going into a game against the division rival, which if you guys want to succeed or just see where your team is at, I think it's a must win for both teams, especially with the Minnesota Vikings being a team that made the playoffs last year and won a division, and the Bears team that has to be anything better than what they were last year. I think this is most important for the Bears passing game to really sustain that type of consistency throughout the course of a game and a season, and this is going to be a test for them, especially in a division rival game at home. And can the Bears finally win a Bear game at home? They haven't won one in over a year. When we're talking about this Bears defense going up against the Minnesota Vikings offense, it is not the same Minnesota Vikings offense that we're used to seeing, and that is one major factor. Justin Jefferson is out, and that is a big key, especially when you have the Bears secondary who's getting healthy. Jalen Johnson is back. Eddie Jackson looks like he could possibly play this week, as well as Kyler Gordon. The Vikings are down not only the best player, I think, on the football team, one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver, even though I don't think he is the best in the league, but we'll go another day, in the league, and Justin Jefferson. And Justin Jefferson has been a big part of this Minnesota Vikings offense, and especially going up against the receiving core that's kind of diminished a little bit. We're going to see how this Bears secondary can really be effective against the receiving core without Justin Jefferson. And Kirk Cousins, he's not had the greatest of games, especially the last 2 weeks, which the Minnesota Vikings is not, and he's been struggling all season. And I think a big factor of that is the Minnesota Vikings just have not been able to run the football as effectively as they have in the past. And you have a guy like Arizona Madison who's solid. Cam Akers, who they brought in, who hasn't played as much with this Vikings roster. And it's interesting to see because teams have loved to come out and run the football on the Bears. Even though they have been better, especially last week against the Commanders, I want to see how this Bears front, led by Justin Jones and Billings, and Ngakwe, I think need to see a little bit more. DeMarcus Walker made some plays. TJ Edwards in top in tackles. Tremaine, Edmunds, Sanborn has made plays. So I'm interested to see how the Bears are going to defend the run when the Minnesota Vikings run offenses struggle, and I possibly see them running the football more, as most teams like to do, even though Kirk Cousins can beat you throwing the football. Let's not forget, Kirk Cousins is, I'm not going to say a top 5 quarterback, or he's close to top 10 in my opinion. He still can be effective in the passing game, but it does make a huge difference when you do not have Justin Jefferson in the lineup. And I also like to see the blitzing of the Bears that they've been doing the last 2 weeks with Matt Eberflus calling the efficient plays. I love to see that the Bears are blitzing a little bit more in their defense, which I thought was a little bit of a lost art with Alec Williams as defensive coordinator. The Bears have blitzed a lot more last week, having 5 sacks against the Commanders. So pressure on a quarterback is always going to be key, but it's even more key, especially when you don't have the full the receiving core intact for the Minnesota Vikings. But with all that said, my pick for this game will be, surprisingly, I'm going with the Chicago Bears to win this game at home. I just think the injury to Justin Jefferson is going to loom large for this Minnesota Vikings offense. I also think this Minnesota Vikings defense has not played the best, and I think the Bears, despite them not running the football or may not being able to run the football as effectively with the injuries, I think this Bears offense can attack a secondary with the Minnesota Vikings, with DJ Moore, with the guy like Mooney and St. Brown and Tyler Scott and his speed. I just believe that this Bears offense is going to be a very successful throwing offense, and they're going to do a little bit of running. And I think this Bears defense is going to step up, slow down Minnesota's running game, which just haven't been going all season, and they're going to make them one-dimensional. And without Justin Jefferson, I think it's going to be harder for the Vikings to really obtain some success offensively. So I have the Bears winning this game with a score of 24-14 at home, and the Bears improve to 2-4, and the Vikings drop. But that's what I have for today. Make sure you guys like this video and all these things. I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll take you guys later. Peace.